Okay, hi Sag, and welcome to your October 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about a really interesting, high octane, getting into gear month of October. Wow, I'm really excited to be doing a reading for you all. I'm just finding your image file here. Okay, so let's see. Wow, okay. Two of Cups, Death, Ten of Swords, the Hermit. Yeah, you have a lot of changes coming in this month. Death and Ten of Swords together. If you guys are new to tarot or not, you might know that this combination is like a breakup combination to a degree. And if you're single, it might just mean that you've had a huge transformation or are undergoing that right now. So, I'm feeling there's a little bit of a calm before the storm that happened in September, or maybe there was a storm. I mean, the timelines are pretty varied. It kind of really depends, but calm before the storm is something that I'm feeling for you. And I'm feeling that the storm, or whatever, this Death, Ten of Swords, Five of Wands situation is, I think that it's going to help you more than it's going to feel difficult, actually. It feels like you've evolved to a point where things like this just aren't as self-effacing as they used to be, and it's more of like this chance for you to get your life right or to get it the way you want it to be. I will say, especially if you're getting this reading early, like still in September, there's maybe this kind of calm point, and then there's a getting into gear point. Okay. Some of you might know, if you were paying attention to the community tab on my channel, that there were people who tried to impersonate my channel and tried to, steal my YouTube identity, I guess, and try to like sell stuff to people in the comments section. So as someone with a lot of Sagittarius in my chart, I've had to really get into gear and, be in touch with YouTube. I've had to pursue channel verification, which I was lucky enough, to have, which is a really beautiful thing. It's kind of like through difficulty, I was able to elevate my channel in that way. And I'm really thankful to YouTube for granting that and also helping with this thing that many, many astrologers and many, many channels on YouTube are going through right now. It's really hard because, and it scares me, it scares me to think that someone might be fooled by one of these impersonator channels and like think that like it was me that like actually scammed them and think that it was me who was like talking to them the whole time. That really frightens me, and it's something that was psychologically difficult for me to go through. But then also as I was going through it, I'm like, what can I do? Like, I know that I've had integrity. I know that would never do something like that. And I can't help what other people do or what other people try to do. And in a way, I know that it's like a good karma for me. So I have to trust that it's not that people can see through it, and also that viewers can tell a scammer as well, and that viewers know like that's also a part of this too. And I just want to also, if you guys didn't see the community post, yes, be aware that I will never offer a WhatsApp number to you in the comments section. I will never try to sell a reading to you. I'm not even doing private readings right now. And I've said that a lot. So yes, if someone in the comment section with my profile picture and my channel name or something tries to like sell you a private reading, it's not me, okay? The only way, whenever I do private readings, that will be like an official link through like my website that is like official, right? It's never gonna be like, here's a WhatsApp number, come and buy something from me. I would never, ever, ever do that, okay? And at this point in time, I'm not even having enough time to be able to do any consulting anyway, so just so y'all know. But I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart, and this is something I've been having to go through, along with, YouTube isn't the only thing in my life either. A lot of YouTubers, like I do YouTube full time, but also there's been other things I've been having to work on too. So I've been growing other plants, I suppose, in my life other than YouTube as well. And those have had their struggles too. So it's kind of like having so much on our plate, and the way that problems present themselves for a Sagittarius right now are trying to really get you tough, okay? I had to like get tougher through this experience. I had to also not succumb to self-doubt. Like, it was very strange. Like, as I realized that probably quite a few of my viewers might have like had contact or something with some of these scammers, it really planted these weird seeds of doubt within me. And especially from that perspective of like, what if they actually thought that was me? Like, what if they bought something? What if, and like they didn't, and it wasn't me, and they thought it was me, and they thought that it was me that did that. Like, that really got to me. That really got to me. And then as I was reflecting on it more, I'm like, okay, you got to be strong here. Like, this is part and parcel of having this platform. This is part and parcel of having chosen this. And all you can do is open that dialogue with other people on your channel and let them know about it, and trust that they know that it's not you. And then also trust that YouTube will do what's needed as well. But anyway, it's kind of a death and Ten of Swords thing, and I am definitely curious, like other Sages, like comment below, let me know like what in your life has been like evocative of this, that kind of psychological thing, you know, or even like, I don't know, theft of identity. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. A death and Ten of Swords, it can kind of feel like something really personal is taken away from you, or it can feel like you are, I don't know, it's a tough combination. And I want to kind of psychically understand, you know, away from my own experience, like thinking about just this energy here, what is it really trying to do? On one hand, I think it's trying to make us tougher. On another hand, I think that it is revealing also like the nature of what we're involved in to a degree, and how all those systems work, how all like what it really is. And I think that Sagittarius, who are really thriving right now, are really diversifying their life in different ways and consolidating that eccentricity. So on one hand, like for me, like again, just using myself as a hypothetical for you all, you know, like, yes, getting the verification on YouTube, that was really kind of like, I guess, allowing that focused part of my life to grow further. Though also I have other things in my life that I'm working on that I can't wait to share with you guys in the future. But it's like, you know, I know that I have a lot of options, and I know that also this like YouTube channel is not the end all be all of me. And that was something that I think that I had lost track of, especially over the last few years. Like, YouTube was it was like my entire life. And then when someone starts like trying to steal that or something, it's like, that feels like every part of you is being like stolen or something. So I started to really see why we have to be careful as Sagittarius about over focusing on certain things, even if they feel like really eccentric, really, you know, saggy, really Jupiterian, like this YouTube channel does feel to me. It's a very Jupiterian channel. There are times where we have to be able to separate ourselves from it, and know also that we are not totally consumed by something outside of ourselves. I think that's a lot of what's coming up in October to heal, with the Hermit coming up, with a Two of Cups, like knowing how much of you is invested in something, and then also knowing what the boundaries are. And then I also think that you are likely going to start pursuing what really matters in the month of October. And it's going to take time. Like, I feel like you want to watch out for trying to build Rome in a day. You know, you want to watch out for that type of mentality, because that's something that all the fire signs can struggle with, especially Aries and Sag. They can get too quick paced, too fast, too gregarious with their energy. And they can build things in a makeshift way if they're not careful. So a lot of what October also is fortifying what you've already built. Like, for example, like with my YouTube channel being verified, that's an example of fortifying something you've already built. And that helps people to know, like, if there's not a check mark by the name in the comment section, like, that's not me, you know? So that's a really good example of fortification. And I was always like kind of worried about doing that. I'm like, ooh, it's such a big deal. And I still want to be like kind of small in a way. And and then it was so easy to do once it came time. And it's just talking about my experience a little bit. But I try to fortify what you have, consolidate what you have to a degree, and then make a few judgment calls maybe about how it comes off to you and how it feels to you. And also understand the limits of your control over it as well, or the limits of your control over, because October is going to be like kind of like a constant reminder for everyone about what power we really have, about the true level of control over certain situations. We are moving from Libra to Scorpio season this month. And to me, this is such a crux. It's like the most concentrated point of a certain pursuit, or the most concentrated point of some type of overwhelming situation. So we kind of just have to live through it, I think. And for you, starting the month, let's go ahead and segue into the week to week here. Starting the month with death rooted down by the Hermit. It's a big change in how you experience yourself. It's a big change in how you think about your autonomy. It's a big change in self-perception. And I think it can be really positive. I think some of you have to revel in the accomplishments that you've had, because I think there's a tendency maybe to downplay it because you're afraid of its, maybe that it's temporary, or that you don't want to get too accustomed to this new level that you've reached. But there is a reaching of a new level. And with that reaching of a new level, there's few new, skills to learn, or a few new hurdles that you've never maybe had to cross before. So what does that mean to you? And what does that say about your self-perception as well? Can you allow change? Can you allow fluidity? Or do you want to fixate? Beware of fixating. Beware of forcing something to be an unchanging spectrum. And also beware of thinking that other people, with what they grant or don't grant to you, are sort of the benefactors of happiness or benefactors of progress in your life. Rather, I think that you need to understand that the content of what you create, the shape of it, the sphere of it, and the retention that you have as well of certain people in your life, or certain experiences, is really where it's at, and not so much in the framing or the other people that contribute to the framing. Okay, that is important, and it's going to grow in importance, but right now it's much more content oriented. Also, in the first week of October, you want to, I think it has to be a sort of lonely experience in a positive way, positive loneliness, because there's something about revamping you. There's something about revamping and almost like bringing you back to life, or the vision that I'm getting is kind of a severe one. It's like, when people, what are those things called that they like shock people back to life with? It's like that type of thing. So there can be like a shocking thing. There can be like a, whoa, I can't, and it kind of like jolts you back to life, but it kind of makes your heart beat right again, or it makes your heart chakra realign, or with that jolt, with that shock, there's actually a resurgence of life force energy that you had forgotten was there or something. So that's really cool. Week number 2. And so first week of October is like big stuff, but prepare yourself maybe for a little bit of a jolt or a shock and then as you experience it, know that it's bringing something out of you that needs to be brought back to life. So week 2, you've got 2 of Cups rooted down by 5 of Wands. This can be very simple, like interpersonal conflicts, like watch out for argumentative people. If you know that you have a bad blood with someone, I wouldn't be around them. If you have a relationship that is constantly on the rocks, distance is better. Also, this can be if you're single, or if it's not manifesting with other people. Maybe you're nitpicking yourself too much. 2 of Cups can be like, looking at your reflection, or thinking a lot about, your caricature or yourself. And with 5 of Wands, it's kind of like a battle, so it can be like a battle of identity. It can be a battle of, who do I want to be? How do I want to project? You're kind of like a little cocoon, and you're choosing the colors of your wings as a butterfly. That sounds cheesy, but it's kind of what it's like. And you're kind of at like a battle. No, I want blue wings. I want red wings. I want green wings. And it's like a battle. I'm sure that the third week will answer this. 6 of Cups rooted down by the Lovers reversed. I don't think you have to make a decision right now, actually, about what color your wings are, or how the shape is, or all this framing stuff, But wouldn't it be nice to like maybe fly out of the cocoon, though? And also kind of knowing that other people aren't caring as much about these little details or about the color or the shape of the wings, but that they more so want to interact with you in flight. This feels like an important kind of, I guess, allegory into action in the life of a Sagittarius right now. The action is more important, the growth is more important, and I suppose the tones of the way that that expresses are important, but they're not of as great significance as the actual flight itself right now. So allowing yourself to fly. The lever is reversed. It's like you're hampering or inhibiting your own flight. The wings are reversed in the Lovers card. So you're like choosing maybe to keep things small or choosing to play things safe. And I think you've got to maybe give yourself or give another person better advice or better counsel, because you're a really good counselor, you're a really good advisor, but you're not maybe giving yourself the luxury of that. So if you were to like look at your life and knowing your wants, knowing what you're going for in the future, how would you advise yourself based on what you have now in a more objective way? Week 4, you've got the 10 of Swords rooted down by the 3 of Cups. Okay, the 4th week of October, 10 of Swords during Scorpio season. It means that there's too much clutter. It means that there's too much that you're having to deal with in some way. How can this be more minimalist in a healthy way? How can this be less toxic? How can this be rebooted or restarted in some way? It might take time, and it might also happen really quickly. I think that as planets are starting to move direct and these retrogrades start to settle, by that time you might be surprised actually at how you're seeing the sun rise on an overwhelming situation, or how you're seeing that this situation that you were so worried about is granting you a simpler experience. Simplicity. Also, gossip. Okay, 3 of Cups, support networks. We've talked a lot about groups of people who flourish on toxicity or flourish on stress. That would come to a head during the 4th week of October too, and you can save yourself a lot of trouble, a lot of difficulty by just being a little bit more self-focused in October and napping more, small things, sleeping more, not participating with certain people is some of the best advice I could give a Sagittarius right now, because sometimes Sagittarius can have like diarrhea of the mouth, you know? It's hard for them to sometimes control the words. So in a certain type of group scenario, that can be to your detriment, and people don't forget very easily. So if you're like critical or maybe even too bluntly honest with someone, it could come back to haunt you. So again, it's almost like, I think I made this suggestion in the Venus and Scorpio video, but like we have to look busy sometimes, or we have to maybe just not participate sometimes. And even by the end of October, this should be better, and it shouldn't be so hard, and it shouldn't be so austere to, I don't know, be more of the group. But I think that for you, you want to maybe delay it a bit and focus more on your own flight, basically. Anything else I want to say for October? Death, 10 of Swords, and the Hermit, 2 of Cups. Yeah, any relationship that is meant to end or not meant to stay with you, but you might be clinging on to it because of an addictive cycle or because of a fear of the self, would probably renounce itself at this time. And also previous addictive cycles, previous areas of comfort that don't contribute to your greater growth might not totally stop here, but you would know it. You would know it really clearly. And there are like, you know, real life is a thing. I'm seeing so many people, so of every sign this year, you know, in a job that they don't like, but it's like, okay, I've got to pay the bills, you know, but I know I want something better. Try to not spend from your future in this time so that you can live up to that second part, like knowing that you want something better and being able to go after that when it's time. Okay? For some people, it does mean a little bit more frugality. Debt traps. Any type of trap is also really important to see right now. You would know it if it's there. It's not hidden at this time anymore. What is a debt trap? What is a I don't know, social trap? What is a even physical entrapment. So, especially for my more vulnerable Sagittarians out there who are really trusting of strangers or really trusting of people, this is a bad time. Okay. I do think that there are thieves, scam artists, con artists, as we can see, like these crazy scammers on YouTube. Those types of people are out right now. Okay. And I want you guys to, for this interim of time, maybe be a little bit less trustworthy. Like, this is really a wonderful period of time for having trusted relationships in our lives, family relationships that we trust, long running friendships that we trust. Because brand new people, I can't say it's where it's at. It's going to come. The time's going to come. Don't worry. February 2022, March 2022, new people, new experiences, new, like, wow, ooh, beautiful, incredible. But now it's so self-focused, it's so self-oriented that we're tested on who we choose to say yes to. We're tested on who we choose to go forward with. And also what types of situations we put ourselves into and how we manage what we have. And that's very Ten of Swords to me. It's like a mind maze. It's like navigating through this sort of maze of sharp things. And it feels petrifying for some people because it's overwhelming. Some of us have signed up for too much. Some of us have taken on too much. And it's very difficult for us to manage it all. And therefore, it feels a bit makeshift. And Sagittarius is the front runner for that. Like, Sagittarius is always like, more is more, bigger is better. How much can I do at once so I can really get some momentum going in my life? Some of you are really going like 100 miles an hour too, and I want you guys to be safe. I want you guys to know your limits, and I want you to not be afraid to request more time from people if you have to request a delay or some type of, that's preferable than makeshift ramshackle experiences. And I think every Sagittarius can relate to that to some degree. It really behooves us in the month of October to safe some of this up, safe, S-A-F-E, safe some of this up, remove certain minutia, flotsam and jetsam that doesn't jive with it, and to fortify and consolidate what we do want to contribute to. Okay. Anyway, Sagittarius, let's talk more about that in your extended reading, long reading here on YouTube. But I will get a central theme to supporting themes and overarching significator oracle card for you on Patreon. And we'll look more into tips to fortifying and tips to rising from these experiences. That'll be linked below and in the center of your screen now. I hope you have a wonderful month. Your season is quickly approaching. Much love, Sagittarius. Bye.